Hi everyone, it's Bev here, your mental health coach, providing tips, tools, techniques and advice, helping you to stay mentally strong in these difficult times and beyond. The topic for this video is the difference between managers and leaders. And I want to use Gareth Southgate as a backdrop. Now I know he is the manager of a football team, of the England football team, but he's not a manager. He's a leader. Once in a while somebody comes to our attention and it is so noticeable the difference between managers and leaders, and that is what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about management styles and then the leadership style. I want to talk about what leaders actually do and how they do it. And I'm going to leave you with at least 9 pointers as to what you can do if you are a manager with the title at least, and you want to progress to become a leader where people follow you, because that's the definition of leadership. You're not a leader if people do not follow you. And if you're not a leader or you're not a manager, you can be a leader in your own life. Because you see, the thing is that leaders do not come from position or status. They come from how they are on the planet, and that's the difference. So let me go on a little bit more about the difference. Well, managers, they are interested in procedure. They're interested in policy and doing things by the book. Leaders are interested in people. They understand that understanding people, motivating people, being aware of how people tick is what makes a leader. Leaders put themselves last, whereas managers will put themselves first. You know, so it's all about me, my status, my office, my stuff that I have, which demonstrates that I'm a manager. Leaders are not concerned about all the entrapments of being in a certain position. They put themselves last. And if you are interested in how you put yourself last, then look at the work of 𝐦𝐚 𝐳𝐭, and he talks about that. And he draws the distinction about leaders and mothers. And funny enough, Gareth Southgate says exactly the same thing. So he talks about you have to mother your team in a certain sense, in the nicest possible way. Managers, in a lot of senses, are promoted. Well, they've probably been in the company or the business for a long time. We don't know what to do with them. We don't want to lose them. They've got a lot of knowledge about how things work. I know we'll promote them with no training, no indication of what they're doing. And so in that sense, they're promoted to their level of incompetence. That is called the Peter principle, where you're promoted to your level of incompetence. And what managers do who are promoted in this form just carry on as usual. They don't change in any form or fashion. And so people are left to their own devices. Now let me go on to talk about the common styles of management that are out there. Well, the first one, you may have experienced this one, I know I have, and this is the autocratic manager. It's do as I tell you. And what you have is this manager at the top, and then it's top down communication. So you've got these people at the bottom being told, being micromanaged, being controlled by the manager. Now, this manager, this autocratic manager, is not concerned with building a team. What they do is they have their favorites. They manage by divide and rule, and they manage by fear. Now, these people on the bottom muddling through, they start to become a little resentful, or a lot of resentment can build up by the way that they are treated. And they start to form a team against the company. This is called contra culture. So they meet up at the watering hole, which is the canteen, or the vending machine. Do you hear what that manager said to me? If they think that I'm working overtime, if you think I'm going to help them, look at the amount of work. So they become resentful. That's no way to manage. Now, the second kind of management that's out there is this so-called democratic style of management. So all points go to this manager. And so they will call a meeting and say, guys, this is what's going on. What shall we do? But this is kind of disingenuous, because at the end of the day, everybody gets to find out that their input is invalid, because the manager's going to do what they want to do in the end. So they're weighing up. They call a meeting to weigh up the opposition. And this is disingenuous. And this style of management doesn't work anyway, because all the points go into the manager. What happens when the manager is sick or on holiday or called away to a meeting? Then people are frozen because they don't know what to do. They haven't been given the authority to do anything. Another style of management is this participative style of management that I've seen in companies. You know, the manager wants to be one of the gang. This is my team, and they sit with the team, and it all looks really good on the surface. You know, if you walked into the office environment, you wouldn't know who the manager was from a team member. And this is all great until the proverbial, I'll say that again, hits the fan. What happens when the team is not producing? What happens if there's somebody in the team that is disrupting the team dynamics? What happens when the participative manager has to deliver bad news? What happens then is that this person, this manager that was all your friend, going down to the pub for drinks and, you know, being all jolly, then has to be the bad guy. And people then will say that you're just disingenuous, you're not to be trusted. So that's not the way to manage being part of the gang. You're not, by definition of being the manager, you're not. And then the last one that I want to draw to your attention, again, which is prevalent today, is this laissez-faire style of management. You don't see the manager from one day to the next. You know, these people are left to carry on as they can. This manager is in another building, they're sometimes in another country, and they don't think to connect with the team. Now, this may have some merit if the team knows what they're doing, they're really professional and have high level knowledge. However, they're still human. People need to know whether they're doing a good job. They need feedback. They need to have direction. And the laissez-faire manager, they're not doing that. They're not into that. They may show up on occasion, Christmas, when there is something good to be acknowledged for. However, you're not going to see them from one day to the next. So how does the leader lead a team? Well, it's like this. How can I describe it to you? Well, the leader is concerned with the team and individuals and the task. And so they're concerned with building a really strong team, whereby I'm holding my hand like this because the individuals are in here and they manage the scope. You know what to do, so get on and do it. But they're not part of the team. They are somewhere here. And so they manage the team by looking at the big picture, looking at what the team needs. They're able to step in, to coach, to train, to provide direction, to give feedback, to look at who are the high flyers and to reward them, and to look at the people that need coaching and support. Their team is not this team. This manager here, they have a team of other managers, leaders, I should say. They manage this team, but they actually lead this team as well. So they belong to this team. And in this team, they're able to promote the team that they lead. They're able to get resources for the team that they need. They're able to negotiate and influence people and blow this team's trumpet. This is called boundary leadership. So you manage the boundaries. You lead the people within those boundaries. That sounds a bit clearer, doesn't it? So you manage the boundaries, the resources, the processes. Yeah, great. But you lead these people. Now, you cannot jump from management to leadership easily. You have to do the work on yourself. You have to know what are the qualities and the skills of a good leader. So you're always about continuous improvement. But there's something that is prevalent in leaders, and that is they are authentic. You know, they do it their way. They are true to themselves. They have people skills. So they take the time to know their people. You know, managers don't know anything about their people. They don't know. They only are interested in the results. I want the results. I want the deadlines. I want you to achieve the goals for the team. Leaders are interested in behavior. They know what makes their people tick. They take the time to listen to their people. I heard a story about Gareth Southgate, that he was visiting a TV studio and everybody lined up because, you know, he's someone to see and to listen to. And one guy said to him, do you know, I met you about 10 years ago when I was on work experience. And Gareth Southgate said, yes, I remember you. And how are you doing? And was able to say something about that person and how they progressed through TV. That's paying attention. That's noticing. That's telling people that you're important. Leaders have empathy, so they understand. So as far as Gareth Southgate is concerned, he understands what footballers are going through. He was on that pitch once upon a time. He understands the stress, the tension, the pressure. He gets it. And he communicates that back to his people. So they say, you get us, you understand. And they have integrity. They have great integrity. And so they do what they say and they mean what they say. So you can rely on them at every stage of the game. No pun intended. What you see is what you get. They're not going to be one thing for, in his case, the cameras for the TV, and another thing for the players. What you see is what you get. So let's move on to look at some of the things that leaders do? Well, the first thing is that leaders are not afraid of failure. Go and talk to Gareth Southgate about failing, and he would look at that and say, okay, what are we going to learn? Because you don't learn from success. You rejoice when you have a success, but you learn from the failures. You do an analysis, a post-mortem. What did we do? How can we make this better? Leaders, not only do they learn from failure, they take risks, so they kind of increase their failure rate. So the more we learn, the more we grow. Number two, leaders will provide an environment where people can thrive and grow and enjoy and have fun. They elevate the environment so that people become world class. 3, leaders are fine with criticism. They can take criticism like the rest of them and even more. But here's the thing. They will take and accept criticism from people that know what they're talking about, not from outsiders. Again, in the case of Southgate, he will take anything that another footballer has got. He will take anything that another manager has got. He will learn from other teams. I can bet your bottom dollar that as soon as they reconvene as an England team, they're going to analyse the Italian team, and see what happened. So they don't take criticism from people that have never kicked a football, who don't know what it's like to be under such immense pressure. Now, one of the things that leaders do is that they empower their team to make the decisions. If you're a leader, you can't do that job for that person. And if you have to stand over their shoulder, micromanage them, think about what are they doing, then, you haven't empowered them to do their job. So you empower the team by feedback, by praise, by coaching to make the right decisions. So they not only know what they have to do, they also know how they're going to do it, to what standard they're going to do it. You motivate the team by this. This is number 5. You motivate the team by getting out of the way. Get out of the way. People are motivated. People are motivated to come to work. You don't have to motivate someone that has got qualifications, experience in the job that they're doing. All you have to do is get out of their way and say, I trust you to do the job. I trust you. I believe in you to do your best and give your best. That's what you do. Now, I know the difference between managers. I've seen it so many times. When I ask what motivates your team, managers don't have a clue. And they think that we'll have a away day and we'll go go-karting, or we'll go archery or something. That's how you motivate people. No, that's not how you motivate people. Once a year, or if you've got the budget, you motivate people by setting a good goal that everybody buys into. You make it measurable. And then when they succeed, you give them feedback. When they fail, if they fail, you give them feedback, and you're on it. So you're able to step in to lead if people are going off pissed. I think I said that right. And you can reward when people achieve. The last thing that I want to share about the difference between managers and leaders. Leaders are about coaching and training and development and succession training and bringing people to realize their potential. Managers are around, you don't need training, just muddle through and get through. And this creates a lot of stress and anxiety for people that do not have the training or the resources and the equipment to do the job. This frustrates people. And what happens is that people, they may not be able to physically leave because maybe there's no jobs out there, but they psychologically leave. They psychologically check out, so you don't have the hearts and minds and creativity of the people. Leaders do. So that's all I have to say on the matter. There is a vast difference between managing a team and leading a team. Be the leader. Leaders are born and leaders are made. Leaders come from anywhere and everywhere. That's all I have to say. Take care, stay sane, stay safe. Until next time.